Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtapraeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishne Swadhamo Pagate Dharmajnanadibhisaha Kalau Nashtadrishamesha Puranarko Dhunoditaha. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, spotless Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, by the divine grace of Srila Prabhupada. We have the Bhakti-Vedanta purports. This is Gajendra's prayers of surrender, and in fact, yesterday we just finished his prayers. Today we're on text number 30. This is a comment by Shukdev Goswami. So please repeat. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Gajendram Upavarnita Nirvishesham Brahmadayo Vividhalinga Bhidabhimana Naite Yadopasasripur Nikhilatmakatvat Tatrakhilamaramayo Harir Avirasit. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, Evam, in this way, Gajendram, unto the king of elephants, Gajendra, Upavarnita, whose description, Nirvishesham, not directed to any particular person, but to the Supreme, although he did not know who the Supreme is. Brahma Adayaha, the demigods, beginning with Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and Chandra. Vividha, varieties, Linga Bhidha, with separate forms, Abhimanaha, considering themselves separate authorities. Na, not. Ete, all of them. Yada, when. Upasasripuhu, approached. Nikhila Atmakatvat, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of everyone. Tatra, there, Akhila, of the universe. Amaramayaham, consisting of the demigods, who are only external parts of the body. Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can take away everything, Avirasit, appeared before the elephant. इसको कम किया जाए, yeah, a little, or off even, it's fine. Translation. Sri Shukadev Goswami continued, when the king of elephants was describing the supreme authority without mentioning any particular person, he did not invoke the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, and Chandra. Thus, none of them approached him. However, because Lord Hari is the Supersoul, Purushottama, the personality of Godhead, he appeared before Gajendra. Kindly repeat. Sri Shukadev Goswami continued, when the king of the elephants was describing the supreme authority without mentioning any particular person, he did not invoke the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, and Chandra. Thus, none of them approached him. However, because Lord Hari is the Supersoul, Purushottam, the personality of Godhead, he appeared before Gajendra. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. From the description of Gajendra, he apparently was aiming at the supreme authority, although he did not know who the supreme authority is. He conjectured, there is a supreme authority who is above everything. Under the circumstances, the Lord's various expansions, such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Chandra, and Indra, all thought, Gajendra is not asking our help. He's asking the help of the Supreme, who is above all of us. As Gajendra has described, the Supreme Lord has various parts and parcels, including the demigods, human beings, and animals, all covered by separate forms. Where has Gajendra described that? We'll get to that in a moment. Although the demigods are in charge of maintaining different aspects of the universe, Gajendra thought that they were unable to rescue him. Harim vina naiva mritim taranti. No one can rescue anyone from the dangers of birth, death, old age, and disease. It is only the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can rescue one from the dangers of material existence. Therefore, an intelligent person, to get free from this dangerous existence, approaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not any demigod. As confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 7, text number 20, Kama istaistairhritagyanah prapadyante anya devataha. Those who are unintelligent approach the various demigods for temporary material benefits. Actually, however, these demigods cannot rescue the living entity from the dangers of material existence. Like other living entities, the demigods are merely external parts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's transcendental body. As stated in the Vedic mantras, Sa Atma Angani Anya Devataha. Within the body is the Atma, the soul, whereas the various parts of the body, like the hands and legs, are external. Similarly, the Atma of the entire cosmic manifestation is Narayana, Lord Vishnu, and all the demigods, human beings, and other living entities are parts of his body. It may also be concluded that since a tree lives on the strength of its root, and when the root is nourished with water, all the parts of the tree are nourished. one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original root of everything. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very difficult to approach, he is very near to us because he lives within our hearts. As soon as the Lord understands that one is seeking his favor by fully surrendering, naturally he immediately takes action. Therefore, although the demigods did not come to the aid of Gajendra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead immediately appeared before him because of his fervent prayer. This does not mean that the demigods were angry with Gajendra, for actually when Lord Vishnu is worshipped, all the other demigods are also worshipped. Yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied, everyone is satisfied. Yatha taror mulane shechanena tripyanti tatskandha bhujopashakha pranopaharat chayathendriyanam tathaiva sarvarhanamadyutejya. As pouring the water on the root of a tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else, and as supplying food to the stomach enlivens the senses and the limbs of the body, so simply worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service automatically satisfies the demigods who are parts of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 31, Text 14. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped, all the demigods are satisfied. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yudhapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Gajendram Upavarnita Nirvishesham Brahmadayo Vividhalinga Bhidabhimanaha Naite Yadopasasarpur Nikhilatmakatvat Tatrakhilamaramayo Hariravirasit. Shri Shukdev Goswami continued, when the king of the elephants was describing the supreme authority without mentioning any particular person, he did not invoke the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, and Chandra. Thus, none of them approached him. However, because Lord Hari is the Supersoul, Purushottam, the personality of Godhead, he appeared before Gajendra. Many, many, many things can be discussed about this wonderful verse, very, very meaningful verse. And There's extensive commentary on this verse by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, as well as his august predecessors such as Sridhar Swami and Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur especially. All of their statements we see in Srila Prabhupada's own purport, which is the essence. So, where do we begin? Nirvishesha. This is a word that all ISKCON devotees are very familiar with. Nirvishesha. Because Srila Prabhupada saw it as his mission to rout from the modern world this Nirvishesha Shunyavada. There's not really much difference between them. Nirvishesha means non-specific. Shunyavad means nihilism or voidism. So, Gajendra's prayers, Upavarnitin Nirvishesham, his description, it's described here as Nirvishesham. What does that actually mean, Nirvishesham? According to Sridhar Swami, it means Murti Bhedam Vina, without distinguishing between one form and another. He was vague, in other words. Jiva Goswami says it means Devadi Rupam Vina. He didn't pray to anybody such as a demigod, anybody with a form like that of the demigods. What kind of form do the demigods have? That we hear from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur implicitly. He glosses this word Nirvishesham as Nishprakrita Sarupam. The Lord has a Nishprakrita Sarupam. What does Nishprakrita mean? Unnatural. It is not of this world. This is the difference. All the devas, all the human beings, the animals, all living beings, there are 8,400,000 different options. Even in Vrindavan, you can find so many of those options are available. But none of them has this qualification. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's hit the nail on the head, so to speak. Nishprakrita Sarupam. It is his real form, Swarupam, not this Anyatharupam. It is actual form, and it is Nishprakrita, Aprakrita. It is beyond this material nature. So that's one thing. Another significant word here, Vividha Linga Bidhabhimanaha, describing Brahma and the others. Vividha Linga. What does Linga mean? Form? Huh? Different parts, Anga, are? Huh? Representation, anything else? Gender is another meaning, right? We have Pullinga, Strilinga, Napumsalinga. That's very significant. You can bookmark that. So, Vividha Linga Bidha, all the different various emblems or representations or forms or genders or whatever it means, Abhimana. They have this identity. They identify with those things. So, Sridhar Swami here says Linga Bidha, the different kinds of lingas, means Murti Bhedam, different kinds of forms. Jiva Goswami says, again, Devari Rupa Bhedam, different forms like that of the demigods and others. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, again, is more specific. He says, Hangsa Vahanatve, Airavata Vahanatvadao, Srishtatva Mahendratvadao. They have their Abhiman is residing in these things. Brahma is thinking, I'm the creator, Srashta. Indra is thinking, I'm the supreme king of all the gods, Mahendra. And Brahma is thinking, I'm the one who has the Hamsavahana. Hamsavahana means the swan carrier. Who rides on the swan carrier? Raise your hand if you have a swan carrier. No, only Brahma has a swan carrier. And evidently, the word Abhiman indicates that maybe he's a little bit proud of that. Similarly, Indra, Airavata Vahana, a special elephant. Gajendra is also an elephant. Airavata is also an elephant. So Indra was thinking, who is this Gajendra? I have Airavata as my Vahana. So Abhimana means they're a little bit proud of their designations, or at least they're identified with those designations. Why? Because sangat sanjayate kama. Whatever you associate with, you begin to identify that with that thing. Sangasteshu pujayate. Just by associating with something through seeing it, you get affected. Just by hearing about something or someone, you get affected. Sangha. Samyak gacchati iti sangha. Whatever we hear, whatever we see, whatever we touch, smell, feel, wherever we go, whoever we talk to, all these things, they affect us. Therefore, the Shastra gives so many vidhis and nishedhas. Do not eat this thing. Do not sleep there or at that time. Do not hang out with this person. Ityadi. So, because it produces a certain kind of abhiman, a certain kind of conceit or identification. So even the demigods have this. We also have this. I'm thinking I'm in charge of such and such a department. Everybody has to follow my authority. Or we're thinking I'm the best, you know, whatever it is that you're doing. We all have this. Even when you become a demigod, you still have this. This is the point. You still have this abhimana. Even as a demigod, you may have Class A prison cell, but you're still imprisoned by this false identification. Even great demigods. So, Jiva Goswami brings our attention to an earlier verse from this chapter, an important verse. Actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, there are 3 verses in this chapter that are very poignant or very significant here. Text number 22 through 24. We've heard these about a week ago. I'm just going to quickly go through the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates his minor parts and parcels, the Jiva Tattva, beginning with Lord Brahma, the demigods, and the expansions of Vedic knowledge, and including all other living entities, moving and non-moving, with their different names and characteristics. So God created all these things. All the different kinds of options that you have, all the different identities that you develop, all the different things that you do, and the resultant conceptions that you develop of life. Vayurgandhani vashayat, like the air carrying various fragrances. This thing is all coming from Bhagavan. All the demigods and their different forms and their different levels of adhikar. Adhikar is a nice word. We don't really have it in English. Close approximation is prerogative. What does prerogative mean? It means you're allowed to do something, but you're allowed to do it because you have the ability to do it. We often find that someone wants to, say, get some position, but he actually cannot fulfill the responsibilities of that position because he doesn't have adhikar. Or somebody is overqualified for his position as well. That's also not good. Adhikar means to do exactly what you can do, no more, no less. This is adhikar. And therefore you're allowed to do that thing. You're enjoined to do that thing. And every one of us has this. It's called swadharma. Swadharma. So, Jiva Goswami, these 3 verses he's pointing out for us. And then there's an example. What does this practically mean? Just as the sparks of a fire or the shining rays of the sun emanate from their source and merge into it again, similarly, the mind, the intelligence, the senses, the gross and subtle material bodies, and the continuous transformations of the different modes of nature all emanate from the Lord and again merge into Him. So this is a significant thing. This is why Gajendra's prayers are upavarnita nirvishesham, non-specific. Because as soon as you get too specific, then it runs into a problem. And he says that next. Gajendra. he's talking about the Supreme Lord. He said, he is neither demigod nor demon, neither human nor bird nor beast. He's not woman, man, or neuter. Remember we mentioned this? This is implied by the word linga. Nor is he an animal, not even an elephant. He is not a material quality, a fruit of activity, a manifestation or a non-manifestation. He is the last word in the discrimination of neti neti, not this, not that. And he is unlimited. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now the word here is used, nishedha shesho, when you prohibit all things. When you say this is not allowed here, that's called nishedha. So all of these things are not allowed. He's not human, he's not demigod, he's not animal, he's not male, female, young, old, etc. This is nishedha, but nishedha shesha. After all that prohibition, what is left? Shesha means whatever remains. This is him. Who can put his finger on this? Nobody can define this. He is inconceivable and he's ananta, ashesha teja. He has inconceivable potencies. So, this is why Lord Vishnu came and not the other demigods. He had not asked for anyone else to come. In fact, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out, back in verse number 22, he had said, Yasya brahmadayo deva veda lokash characharaha nama rupa vibhedena palguya chakalaya krataha. He called them palgu. What does palgu mean? Lightweights, we say in English. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings this to our attention. He feels that these verses that I've just quoted from earlier in the chapter, 22 through 24, they show how the Lord is paripurna, complete and perfect in all respects. But they do it by demonstrating two kinds of living beings who come from God, and two kinds of living beings who are sometimes identified as God. He calls them Palgu and Apalgu. Palgu means Brahmendra Rupadi Jiva Rupa. Sometimes the post of Indra or Brahma, etc., they are occupied by jivas. We know this. Many of us have been in these positions before. Do you remember? No. Look at you now. So, this is, therefore, they're called Falgu. Paltry. And on the other hand, Afalgu means Matsya Kuramadi Ishvara Rupacha. Those who are not lightweight, those who are not paltry, those are the Lord himself. Because not always is Brahma's post filled by Vishnu. Quite often it's filled by someone else. But that person is only Brahma for some time, and when the karma runs out, then he has to go elsewhere. Where do you go? We don't know where we go. It depends on our anadi karma, which we also don't know. Therefore, in the Purva Mimamsa system, it's called what? Adrishta. You can't see it. There's a reaction there, but you can't see it. You don't know what it is. Therefore, we're called Palgu. So, Palgueti Padeni Tuchikrita, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells us. It's interesting because he's actually saying something different than what Srila Prabhupada says. I'm just repeating the message so that you'll know. But he actually says that the Devatas, they didn't come because they felt that this elephant, he's not calling us, he's calling for Bhagavan only. In fact, not only is he not calling on us by name, he is mentioning our names and calling us Falgu. Falgu means we're paltry. They felt a little miffed by that, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So that's all right. Let him worship his Vishnu and let Vishnu come and take care of him. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, we know Vishnu is Duraradhya. He's not so easy to worship. He's not going to come personally. At least he's not going to come anytime soon. This elephant will die. This is what they're thinking in their minds. Let his Vishnu come. He's not going to come. This is what they're thinking. But Vishnu came. Why Vishnu came? Why not the others? Nikhilatmakatvat. Because he is the soul of all. Nikhila Atma. Because of being the super soul of all living entities. How does Jiva Goswami gloss this? He says, Nikhilanam Paramatma Sukharupatvat Tadvilakshano Mayaya Sheshatmakatvat. That's a mouthful, but it means he is the pleasing form of the Paramatma for all living beings. And his characteristic is Mayaya Asheshatmaka. He has, his nature is that he has infinite potency, Ashesha. Nishedhashesha, we've already discussed. When you take away all the prohibitions, something remains, that's him. But he himself is Ashesha, unlimited. So he has unlimited potency. This is why the Devatas, they're considered Falgu. Jiva Goswami explains this at some length. He says, with regards to the next word, Akhila Maya, Hari. Hari is Akhila Amaramaya. He is made out of all the demigods. This is what Prabhupada has also discussed in his purport to some degree. Akhila Amara, all the immortals, Maya. His form consists of all these demigods. They have no independence beyond him. This is the point. And Sridhar Swami glosses the term in another way. Sarva Devamaya Murtihi. He is the form of all the demigods. Have we heard this compound before? Sarva Devamaya. Anybody know a verse? Sarva Devamayo Guru. The spiritual master is like this also. Remember, we've already described. The spiritual master is also considered to be a Prakash Swarup of Bhagavan himself, according to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila. So Sarva Devamaya. He's God, but he's not God. Similarly, these Devatas, they're angry, but they're not angry, according to Prabhupada's purport. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So Jiva Goswami says, Akhila Akhila Sampadaka Shaktayaha. Whatever potencies exist that are able to put together everything. Akhila Akhila. How do you translate that? The all of everything. You see? Tatrapi Amaras Tat Sampadaka Shaktayopi Prachurtina Vidyante Yasmin Sa. This Vishnu is somebody in whom the potency to put together everything, it far exceeds the potency of the Devatas because they themselves are coming from him. Their potencies are coming from him only. This is the point. Vishwanath Chakravarti says very simply, Akhilamaramayaha. Same. Okay. So, Devatas have felt that they're a little bit not happy, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And he points out that these Devatas, they're actually appointed by the Lord for what purpose? Shishta Rakshana. Shishta Rakshana. They're appointed by the Lord only to protect the Shishtas. This is a special word we don't hear too much. What does Shishta mean? Anybody know? Somebody who is very well behaved, somebody who knows the Shastric injunctions, somebody who always follows those anushtan, we call them. So those persons who take that effort to surrender, even you don't always like what you hear in the Shastras, or you don't always want to do what the spiritual master is instructing, if you surrender to this, then Bhagavan protects you always. And sometimes he employs his agents to do this. It seems that in this case the Devatas are not doing their job because they're supposed to protect the Shishtas, but then again they had their excuse ready. They're very intelligent. He didn't call us, in fact he slighted us, so let Bhagavan Vishnu come and help him. This is the point. So they identified with their lingas, this is the idea. So, he uses the exact words, durabhimanena audasinyam vyanjyamasu. They neglected him out of pride, false pride. They felt like they were not getting enough respect. Have you ever felt like that? Sometimes we feel like we need more respect than we've received. You see, we also have the same thing. Every one of us can be described with these words, vividhalinga bidabhimanaha, just like these devatas. It doesn't help anything if you just move it up on the karmic scale of things. You have to actually do something to deconstruct this false ego. And that is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Or as Gajendra, what did Gajendra chant? We heard the other day from Shruti Prabhu. What was he chanting? You mentioned it, no? Yes. Many things he said. For example, he also said, Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Very nice prayer. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narayana. Akhila Guru. He's the teacher, the instructor of everyone. Akhila Amara Guru, you might say, with regard to today's verse. Okay, now Srila Prabhupada, of course, it appears that he actually says, explicitly, he says, it's not that the devatas were angry with the Supreme Lord. So he has a different opinion. This is another achintya bhedabhed. Acharyas, sometimes they differ. They say different things that can't really be reconciled. So in this case, Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing why the devatas were not, I mean, their egos were bruised. Perhaps we can say that much. But nobody, no demigod, no godly person, not even us, we don't become disturbed when we see someone taking shelter of Krishna. We like that, actually. Even if, due to our neophyte mentality that's described here, linga bidabhimana, even if sometimes we feel some competition from this person, perhaps, or we feel that, you know, we should be as respected as this person, envy it's called. This is perhaps what's responsible for this. But any intelligent person knows, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur implies what Srila Prabhupada actually explicates in his purport. He quotes from 4th canto, Yatha turor mulinishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujo bhajaka. When you put water on the root of the tulsi tree, all the water is distributed to the branches, to the leaves, to the manjaris, everything is nourished. You see? Similarly, when you worship Lord Vishnu, everything, all the demigods are also satisfied. Or another analogy is given, pranopaharat chayatendriyanam. Just as your senses become satisfied by giving something to what? To the stomach. Prabhupada says this. A more literal translation, pranopaharat. You have to give to the prana. This is Ayurveda. When we eat things, you can't just eat anything and everything. You have to eat things that actually facilitate the movement of prana within the body. That's a big science. It's medical science. But the idea is there. The senses will become enlivened if you're eating properly. This is the point. Tathaiva, in exactly this way, sarvardhanam achyutejya, simply by worship of Achyuta, the Lord who is not Falgu. He doesn't fall down like us. This is worship of everyone. Everyone becomes satisfied. Sometimes they have this idea that Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. Nay, it's the other way around, Baba. Madhava Seva satisfies everyone. Okay, so these are some things that Srila Prabhupada has told us, and a few realizations, maybe considerations at least, that I can add, is that throughout his commentary on this verse, Srila Jiva Goswami is emphasizing the Lord Shakti, because there's no meaning to Shaktiman without Shakti. This is the point. It's just as he does throughout his Bhagavat Sandarbha and Lagu Bhagavad, all these works that he has written. he emphasizes the Lord's Shakti because actually everything is in the Lord's Shakti. And the supreme manifestation of the Lord's Shakti is Srimati Radharani. And this is her place, Sri Vrindavan Dham. And we're not praying to Srimati Radharani for any material benefit, any kind of vividhalinga bidha abhimana, anything to add to our false ego, to add to our portfolio of material entanglement. We're not praying for these things here. We're praying for pure bhakti. Hopefully, we're praying for pure bhakti. That's why we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And anyone can do this. If we do this, this is direct appeal. It is not upavarnita nirvishesham. It is direct and specific. I'm praying to you, Srimati Radharani. There are as many of her names as there are of his names in the Mahamantra. So, when we pray to Radha Krishna like this in Vrindavan Dham, then we get something very, very special. We're not just getting liberation, but as we say in the Bhagavatam, what is that? Kaler dosh nidhe rajan asti he ko mahadguna kirtanareva Krishna siya kya hoga mukta bandha param vraje do cheezein hain. Two things. Mukta bandha means you're pulled out of this material world, that's fine. That is the business of Taraka Nama. Taraka means the deliverer. If all you want is liberation, that's all you get from the holy name. But Parakanam means that holy name who will put you into a transcendental position in the spiritual world, in devotional service. Radhe Vrindavanadhishe Karunamritavahini Kripaya Nichapadabja Dasyam Mahyam Pridiyatam. Please give me a position here in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Srimati Radharani, you're the queen of this place. If we pray for this, then they will come. They will come. And they'll give you. They'll give you. Yayatha mam prapadyante tanstateva bhajamyaham. This is also implied here. And tesham satata yuktanam ityadi from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. All the intelligence will be supplied. We have only to chant sincerely like this. While we can. Jabalagatana me tapana vyape tabalaga kari hari seva. It is said by one poet. As long as you can, you have to use this opportunity while it lasts, because it is not going to last. Today we will be celebrating one feast, and a recently departed Vaishnava, you mentioned the other day, Dwarkadish Prabhu. I know him from Los Angeles. Very, very wealthy man, very highly involved in the temple, very important member of the community in Los Angeles. Driving home from work, fatal car accident, his head smashed, 1% chance to live. It can happen to any one of us. The world is meant like that, and there are no guarantees about when you die, and there are no guarantees about where you're going also, unless you make sure by calling to Krishna like this. But again, not just for liberation, but for devotional service. So these are a few things. I've already mentioned Achinja Bhedabhed, a few ways are also here. All right, this is Gajendra's prayers. In summary, Shukdev Goswami is now speaking a few observations of his own. We'll hear what he says tomorrow. But if anybody has any questions or any comments on any of the things that we've discussed today, Gopal Prabhu.
came to the rescue of Virginia. 2 points is that the demigods were offended, whereas in your verse it says they were offended, and in my verse it says they were offended that the prayers were not offered to him. So in order to alleviate them from the offense of making any more discomfort for Vrindavan by cursing him for another 1,000 years to be eaten by a crocodile. So how should I explain this controversy?
Actually, it's my responsibility to explain, because I'm the one who mentioned that it's an example of Achintya Bhedabhed. So it's both, actually. I mentioned only briefly that although with their intelligence the demigods appreciated that he's taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, let the Lord come and reciprocate as he will. With the ego, they felt a little bit slighted. And so it's mixed, and we all feel this. All of us experience this because we've got a foot in each world as long as we're mixed devotees. Until we become really pure devotees, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be a mixture of material feelings and spiritual feelings. Remember, these demigods, by and large, most of the demigods, they're called sakama devotees. They have desires, material desires. And on account of that, as long as you have material desires, your mind is called karnamatmaka, and you're going to have to deal with that also. On a karmic level, you have to deal with it. So this is why we're always encouraged to adopt pure devotional service, anya bhilashita shunyam, etc. I hope that's okay.
I understand. Person is just a slight difference in explanation.
Yes. Yes. This is the noticeable thing. I mentioned also. I mean, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is emphasizing one thing, which is valid. Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing another thing, which is equally valid. So, these things are going to depend on Desha, Kala, Patra. It would appear to me, I don't know, but it would seem that Srila Prabhupada was sensitive to the time, the place, and the audience that he was preaching to. And he felt that it was appropriate to make this emphasis that he made. Yes. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada really amplified that point. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, it's only implied by something else that he said. He doesn't quote the verse. Srila Prabhupada gets into it. Because you have to understand, this was written when? 1975. And Prabhupada was dealing with people who there was a lot of things that they didn't understand. Basic sense of Siddhanta had to be very clearly established, and throughout his books, Prabhupada generally gives that thing. What is the position of the demigods? What is the position of devotional service? These essential things Prabhupada will always emphasize. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my answer. Anyone else? Kshruti Prabhu? The same principle works for your material entanglement and for your spiritual, shall I say, entanglement. Sangha. Whoever you associate with, whatever you associate with. I mentioned, we eat certain things. We only take prasadam. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, that elevates your personality. It doesn't entangle you in karma. You see? Whatever processes we're doing, whatever the do's and don'ts we find in the Shastras, there's a reason for all that. It's based solidly in the principles of Sankhya philosophy. And Sankhya philosophy is just the analytical description of how we're entangled in this material world. You want to use the modern word, deconstruct this, then you have to follow these vidhis and nishedas. This is why Krishna says at the end of a very pertinent chapter, chapter 16 in Bhagavad-Gita, what does he say? Tasmat chastram pramanam te karya vyavastito. You have to do things that the Shastras enjoin, and you have to not do things that the Shastras prohibit. This is how you should discriminate what to do and what not to do in this world. Is that okay?
Yes. Also, one other point on that is
Gopal.
your problem can be resolved in the purity of your chanting holy name. So you're given the 10 faces, and suppose that you come to chant without making any offenses, impediments to our spiritual life will be eliminated.
It's natural.
However, if you continue to chant offensively, the opposite will take place. Your spiritual advancement will be subdued, nullified, and you will make any progress. So,
You make negative progress.
negative progress.
Sometimes people come to Vrindavan and they do all the wrong things and they end up worse than when they started. So, Kalyananam nithanam kalimalapanam pavanam pavananam. He is the holy name is the auspiciousness in all auspicious things. He destroys the filth of the Kali Yuga. He is pavanam pavananam. He is the purity in all purifying things. Pateyan yanmamukshoho sabadi padabara praptiye prochamanam. He is all the provisions that you require for getting out of this world and going back to Godhead, as we discussed. And Vishramasthanamekam kavivaravachasam, in the words of the best of all the poets, such as Valmiki, Vyasadeva, etc. This is the ultimate end that they have to point at, the holy name. It's the supreme object of glorification for the choice words of the best poets. Jivanam sajjanana. It is therefore the life of those who are really honest, gentlemen. The holy name is their life. It means you cannot live without it. This is what Krishna says in chapter 10 of Bhagavad-Gita when he's discussing Ramanticha. What is that verse? No. From 10th canto. Matchitta madgata prana bodhiyanta parasa. Prana is mentioned there. They cannot live without this devotional service. Jivanam sajjanana. And bijam dharma dhrumasya. It is the seed of the tree of dharma. Bijam dharma dhrumasya. Prabhavatu bhavatam bhutiye Krishna nama. May this holy name, full of all power, grant you all auspiciousness. Okay. Yes, one more. Pajavali. Yes. Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching is Gopi Bhardu Parakamalayor Dasa Dasa Anandadasa. You have to, better than praying to Krishna, because we all know the nature of Krishna. Even Srimati Radharani complains about Krishna's nature. We know that he's crooked. He doesn't follow any rules, including his own rules. He can do anything and everything. Yatha tatha va viradhatu lamparta. Lamparta, she calls him. That's a very strong word. She calls him this. So we're advised to take shelter of Srimati Radharani, but the same principle is there, that if worship of the Lord's Tadiya is better than worshiping the Lord, so worshipping the Tadiya of the Tadiya is better than worshipping the Tadiya. So, Bhrityasya Bhritya iti mam. What is that? Tvad Bhritya Bhritya Paricharaka Bhritya Bhritya Bhrityasya Bhritya iti mam smara Lokanatha. Kulashekar Maharaj says, 7 times, I want to be the servant of your servant, of your servant, of your servant, of your servant, of the servant's servant. This is the idea. And ultimately, where does it come down to? Shri Guru Charana Padama Kevala Bhakti Satma. It's only there. It's only there. That is the best shelter. Okay? I think we have to stop now. Huh?
Last point you made, that Krishna is very quick. That's why in Bhagavad-Gita, he had Arjuna declare
Yes.
that his devotees will never be vanquished.
Kaunteya pratijanihi na me bhakta pranashiti. You say it. If I say it, nobody who knows me will believe it. In Vrindavan, everybody knows Krishna. He can't fool them. That's why they all take shelter of Srimati Radharani. She's, in some sense, you can say she's one of us. At least she knows what it's like to be at the receiving end of Krishna. So we take shelter of her, but better than that is taking shelter of her representatives. Jai Srila Prabhupada.